Welcome to Katy Calls BS, the podcast where we cut through the noise in course creation, digital products, and business strategy. I'm Katy Miller, bringing you blunt advice, real action steps, and the occasional F-bomb because building a business is hard and the BS isn't helping. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Katy Calls BS. We're watching something happen again, and we have to talk about it. A few years ago, it was everyone needs a course. Now it's everyone needs a membership. It's the same message. Build recurring revenue, have a predictable outcome, and community of people who pay every month. You show up, share what you know, and the money is consistent. You can stop trading time for money. Scalability, building your authority. It's all the things we want as business owners. It sounds like a great solution. It should sound familiar. It's almost exactly what we heard about courses 5 years ago. Memberships can absolutely work. Don't get me wrong. A well-designed membership is gold, and I've been a part of a few with incredible communities, content, and leaders. They can create genuine recurring revenue and real community value. But here's what's actually happening behind the scenes that no one's telling you about, except for me. A lot of business owners are building memberships and realizing they just created a second full-time job. For an already booked out service-based business owner, adding or maintaining a membership is the opposite of what they're trying to achieve. Most people were never taught how to design a membership properly. The message we're hearing are only success stories because, of course, social media, hello, that should be the first red flag. The start a membership for recurring revenue. Look how much this person made. No. A membership is not a revenue solution. It's a delivery model. If you don't design it properly, it will drain your time faster than any one-on-one service ever could. The data is telling us a different story than what these messages are putting out. Memberships require constant content creation. They need a certain number of members to be financially viable. And they fail because the creator didn't design the value proposition before building the offer. Memberships, just like any other digital product you're going to create, need to be designed and developed. They are going to look different based on the business and the audience. What nobody talks about with memberships are that people build the container first. They pick a platform, they set a price, they open the doors, and then they figure out what the membership is going to do with the members. They think, oh my gosh, I want to build a membership. Let's build the membership. But then they forget about how it's going to help people. It's like building a house and then deciding it's supposed to be a barn. Whoops. When it doesn't work and members cancel, content becomes overwhelming, the back-end upkeep is too much, the revenue doesn't justify the effort, the person running it typically blames their marketing, the audience size, their niche, themselves. It's almost never those things. It's most likely the design. Here's what's happening inside most memberships. The reality of it all. Most memberships turn into constant content creation, ongoing pressure to show up, the random trainings, scattered topics that don't really link together month to month, low engagement, high turnover from clients, like people quit all the time. I want to cancel my membership. Everything is subscription-based right now. The reason why this happens is because there was no clear plan for what members are there to achieve or how they move through the experience. What is making them stay for 3 months, 6 months, a year? What's the transformation for them? So the owner who started the membership keeps adding more content, more calls, more value, but it still doesn't fix the problem. Let's break down the 3 reasons most memberships fail. Not because the idea of the membership was wrong, but because the execution skipped the design. The first reason is the content treadmill. Y'all know I like to run. A membership requires fresh, valuable content on a consistent basis to prevent that turnover. That's not an opinion, by the way. This is just how a membership model works. Members are going to cancel when they feel like they are not getting anything new, which means you are on the treadmill from the moment you open the doors. For someone who is already delivering full-time service work plus life, that treadmill is unsustainable. Most people start a membership and within 3 to 6 months realize that it's a full-time content job sitting on top of the business they're already running. The content requirement doesn't go away as the membership grows, it just scales with it. More members means more expectations, more questions, more engagement you need to show up for. The treadmill gets faster, not slower. The second reason is that the math most people never do. Memberships need real scale to be financially viable. Most people never run the actual numbers before they launch. If you charge $30 a month and you have 20 members, you have $600 a month in recurring revenue. Sounds amazing, right? That's before platform fees, before the time you spend creating content, showing up live, managing the community, answering questions. When are you paying yourself? The math only starts to make sense when you have enough members to justify the overhead, and that number is higher than most people expect. You need a real audience, a real content engine, and real marketing strategy to get there. You need to be able to sustain the work while you build towards it. Most service business owners do not have that runway. They have a client roster and a finite amount of time. A membership that does not hit that number that it needs to be financially meaningful is not a business model. It's an extra thing, which is fine, but you have to go into it with that expectation. The third reason is that there's no value proposition before the container. This is a design failure that sits underneath almost every membership that does not work. People choose a platform. They set a price and they start inviting people in. They're super excited about it. They don't really clearly define what the transformation is going to be for them. What is different for a member after 6 months? What do they know, have, or what are they going to be able to do that they could not do before? Why are they going to stay? If you can't answer those questions before you launch, your members are not going to be able to answer it either. If they cannot articulate the value of staying, they're not staying. The value proposition is not the features, just like a course. It's not the content, the calls, the community. Those are the mechanisms. The value proposition is the outcome. Most memberships are built entirely around mechanisms with no clear outcome in sight. Why are we still building them then? Why are memberships still a thing? We're smart, intelligent business owners launching memberships that aren't designed to work. Well, because the idea of recurring revenue is really nice. It sounds good. Monthly income that does not require you to find a new client every 30 days is one of the most appealing concepts in the online business world. Stability in a business model that is often anything but stable, it sounds like the dream. Community sounds really meaningful. We all want community. We build our own online communities. We build our communities around where we live. The idea of building a space where people come together around a shared problem, a shared goal, and a shared experience, that connects with the part of most business owners that got us into this work. Because we care about the people that we serve. The pitch of a membership works because it is built on real desires. The problem is not that people want the wrong things. The problem is that the execution required to deliver those things is not usually part of the pitch. Nobody tells you about the content treadmill, except for me, when they are selling you on the recurring revenue. Nobody walks you through the math before they tell you to open the doors. And almost nobody talks about the design, about what needs to be built before the membership. Not inside of it, so you just launch, and then you find out. By the time you find out, you already told your audience. You've taken founding member payments and committed to showing up every month. Leaving the membership feels like failure. Staying feels unsustainable. Neither of those things is what you signed up for. This trend is not random. Predictability feels safe. Recurring revenue sounds stable. It feels like control. So people chase that model without understanding the requirements. They get really excited about the recurring part. It would be great to have X number of dollars coming in each month, which is completely true, but there's a lot more to it. If you don't think about what your people actually need, this is going to stall out pretty quickly. Then there's the community narrative. When we're told your audience wants community, sometimes that's true. Not every buyer wants ongoing access. A lot of people just really want a clear solution, a defined outcome, a way to move forward quickly, not another place to log into, because goodness me, don't we have enough. Community doesn't have to mean a membership. It can be your social media community, what you're building online, where people can connect, a webinar, or your group of business besties. The third thing is overestimating what you can sustain. This is a big one. People design memberships based on what would be valuable. Anytime you ask yourself this question, you are immediately going down the wrong path. It is not what you think would be valuable, but you need to know what is going to be valuable for your audience. This is where an instructional designer, me, can help you. Instead of what can I consistently maintain, we get caught in this trap of value, community, and forget about the content part. You're running a whole business and this community. Sustainability is part of the strategy, not an afterthought. Let's dive into the instructional design part, because this is the part that nobody's going to talk about except for an instructional designer, and I don't even know any that are going to talk about this. Here's where I want to bring in something that most people building memberships have never thought about. Really, anyone building any sort of digital product, don't think about. When you design any kind of learning experience, a course, a membership, a training program, you cannot just load it with content and assume that people will engage. You cannot make someone do the thing. You have to understand how people inside it actually learn. Not how you teach it, but how they will learn. This is where an instructional designer is really going to help you. You have to think about, what does this person already know? What do they actually need next? How do they apply this? What outcome are they working towards? And how much time do they have? Most memberships completely ignore this. Most courses do. Most digital products do, honestly. They assume my clients need what I talk about on calls. But your one-on-one clients are a specific type of learner. They have context, they have your support, they have accountability, they have personalization. Your membership audience doesn't. So when you copy-paste your coaching into a membership, it doesn't work. It's not going to translate the same way because it wasn't designed for that environment. There's a concept in adult learning theory called self-directed learning. Adults learn best when they understand why the learning matters to them specifically, when they can connect it to something they're already doing or experiencing, and when they feel that sense of progress and momentum. So we need to know why we're doing it, what the point is, and be able to connect it to our everyday lives. Most memberships are built entirely around what the creator wants to teach. The content calendar reflects the creator's expertise and interests. The calls happen on the creator's schedule. The structure reflects the creator's thinking. But the members are adults with their own goals, their own businesses, their own contexts. They are not empty vessels waiting to receive your content like it's the most magnificent thing in the world. There are people who joined because they had a specific problem they wanted to solve. If the membership is not designed around that, if there's no clear path from where they are to where they want to be, they will just feel busy, not better, and they will cancel because we're busy enough. The second concept worth understanding is the difference between engagement and progress. A lot of membership creators optimize for engagement, just like social media. Likes, comments, live attendance, activity inside the community. Engagement feels really good. It looks like success, feels like success, but engagement without progress is just noise. Members don't stay because they're busy inside the community. They stay because they're getting somewhere. They stay because they've made progress. They see something they've built, something they understood that they didn't understand before. Designing for progress requires knowing what progress looks like before you launch and understanding your audience. It requires a structure, a sequence, a reason why this month's content leads to next month. A structure is important. It requires thinking like an instructional designer or hiring one not just like someone who knows a lot about a topic, because you are the expert, but we have to organize it in a way that makes sense. That's the part that almost no one talks about when they tell you to start a membership. Memberships can work and be super successful, but they have to have a clear outcome or progression. Members have to know why they're staying. The experience is structured with a purpose. The content is intentional, not reactive. But the most important part, the membership needs to fit the business model, not be forced into it. It has to make sense for your business. It can't be, I'm tired of doing X and we need to make money, so we're going to turn this thing into a membership. Memberships offer ongoing support in a lower tier with a group. It's not your intensive one-on-ones. There's perks and coaching with different elements, but it has to be designed well to work. And if you're sitting with all of this and you're listening to this episode and you've launched a membership and it didn't work, or it's not doing great, or you've thought about launching one, or you're thinking about launching one and you're pausing, your impulse behind the membership was completely right. You wanted to serve more people, create consistent income, and stop relying on this one-on-one client work. Those are the right goals. A membership just might not be the right fit. A well-designed digital product doesn't require a content treadmill. It doesn't require 100 members to be financially meaningful. It does not demand that you show up live every week or every month to prevent people from canceling. Good Lord, that's a lot of work. It requires clarity and structure up front. It requires the same design thinking that a membership requires. A clear outcome, a defined learner, a sequence that creates progress. It does not require you to recreate it every month, though. You build it once from your real expertise with intention, and it works because it was designed to work, not because you're constantly feeding it. That's the alternative. Not giving up on the goal of serving more people and creating more consistent revenue, just choosing the right path. These are going to reduce your repetition, support your services, build your knowledge library, create real assets. If a membership makes sense later, then you have something solid to start from, not from scratch. All of these resources can be used in tons of ways. We're not creating or holding on to all of these digital assets just to use them one way. Our goal is to figure out how to take what you already have and repurpose it to target different audiences, not just have them be used for one thing. That makes no sense to us. This is why I talk about digital learning suites so much, because instead of jumping straight into a membership, you can organize your expertise, build structured resources, assign roles to what you create, support your client journey. You build the foundation first. Then you decide what model fits your business. This is what we look at in the Digital Product Infrastructure Audit. Before you build anything, we look at what your clients need, how they're moving through your work now, what should be taught versus supported, what can be turned into resources, what delivery model makes sense. The question isn't, should I start a membership? The question is, what does your business need? How can those resources be used? Memberships aren't broken. Just like courses, not everyone needs one. If you build a membership without designing the experience, it will fail. No amount of content will fix that. I've been down that road myself. I've built a membership that was supposed to look one way and it moved in a direction I didn't want it to. Once that happened, it failed. The goal isn't to chase the next trending model. It's to build something your business and your life can actually support. That's what your clients are looking for, and what you keep putting off when it comes to recurring or automatic revenue. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. If this episode hit home, your next step isn't to build anything. It's to audit what you already have. I offer a paid infrastructure audit where I review your current offers, delivery load, and where your business is relying too heavily on you. You'll get a clear decision doc and a Loom walkthrough outlining what actually makes sense next. The link is in the show notes.